Hi beautifuls, Hannah here. I'm bringing you a psychic reading on joy. And I'm a bit excited to talk about this topic. I could have named it sacral chakra or life purpose but we're going to talk about joy. We're going to talk about joy for a psychic reading. We've talked about suicide, some pretty dark topics. So we're going to put joy right in the middle here. And then we'll continue on this series. But today is a psychic reading for joy. So tapping into joy. And I'm curious what's going to come up because, you know, we talk about the bad topics and we talk about the dark stuff pretty easily and we know it inside out. But what about joy? Do we know joy inside out as well? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Okay. As always, I'm going to share this. And so a couple of things while I'm sharing this is our Trust Intuition Training School. So you can join currently for $11 a month. Soon, won't be able to. I'm going to close the doors to that soon. So the link is in the title of the live stream. And in less than 2 days, in less than 48 hours, we're going live for our full moon ceremony. It is a private group. It is a paid event, a paid ceremony that you can join. But this is for the full moon and we go on a deep journey. I'm really excited about this full moon. And it's when I was like tapping into the joy for this live stream, I was like, oh, and the full moon's coming up in like, not tomorrow, the next day. So very soon as well. I'll post that on my page too. You can check out the details for that or just comment moon below and I shall send you the link for our full moon ceremony. Okay, so just because you needed that singing, see the joy. All right, I'm just going to share this in one more place and we're going to tap into joy. I was pulling cards, well, I was shuffling one of the decks before, like as I was getting ready, and the Lover's card fell out. So, and this is out of the Archangel Power Tarot deck. So I'm curious, and I was like, just get on live stream before you pull any more cards, Hannah. So I'm curious where this Lover's card fits into it, yeah? It is Archangel Raphael. So maybe it is about bringing more joy into your relationship as well. Okay. Maybe sing the whole reading since it's going to be so joyful. I don't think my voice is that attuned that would be a good singing live stream. All right, so lots of Raphael cards coming up already for our psychic reading on joy. Who feels joy most of their life? Who feels joy most of the time? Or is it something that you're just like, joy? Yeah, nice one, Hannah. Like, do you guys feel happy most of the time? Or are you not feeling happy most of the time? I'm curious, let me know. The big, you know, obviously the big message about joy and happiness, and I'm actually going to do a separate live stream on happiness because they're actually two very different emotions, and I really wanted to tap into joy first because it's actually quite deep. Joy is very deep-seated in your body. Joy is very deep-seated in your being, in your reality, in what creates your reality. So I'm going to put this card in the past card. So this is the Lover's card. There's the 8 of Michael, you can be free. Interesting. And then Queen of Raphael, follow your heart. So I'm just going to pull the other cards before I say any more because, you know, like this is what we're talking about. You know, when I was like, do you guys feel joy most of the time? Do you not feel joy? You know, do you feel happy most of the time? Do you not? Because there is a part which says here with 8 of Michael that's coming up, joy is a choice, happiness is a choice. I want to say any emotion is a choice. Now, you know, when people used to say that to me, I'd be like, you have no idea what I'm going through. Sometimes I still have moments like that. Let's be real. But, you know, like ultimately it is a choice. It is a choice to force yourself to do something in the moment that isn't joyful, okay, and get really angry when you could do the same thing tomorrow. For example, right, you're forcing yourself to clean the house when it really needs to be done, and you just don't want to. And you also deep down know that when you trust the flow, you get the house done super quick, rather than trying to force yourself in a time frame or in a space and time where you don't want to do that. Joy, there's happiness and joy. Like I said, I'll talk about happiness on a different live stream, but joy is really about following that deep-seated call. It's about trusting where you're being called to place your time and energy, like today, like now, right? And we're talking about deep-seated sustainable joy. This isn't a quick fix, like, you know, for example, like I don't know, an addiction of, I don't know, alcohol or drugs or something is a quick hit. It's a quick joy. And then we feel shit, right? When we're talking about joy here, we're talking about sustainable joy, right? So we're talking about something that is deeply sustainable. It doesn't deplete, right? And so this one I asked you is like, well, do you feel joy most of the time or not really? Because joy, like that deep-seated undertone joy, is different to, like I said, the quick fixes, right? It's the sustainable joy. It's the one that keeps you in flow. So the biggest part about what fuels the sustainable joy is your soul. Yeah, is your soul. And this is where I was like, so are you forcing yourself into a house cleaning mode when you just don't want to, but in 2 days time the natural flow will come in and you'll get it done really fast, right? This is about working with the ebbs and flows and the cycles. And it's so interesting because in my head I was thinking about the full moon, and it's the full moon in less than 2 days, and we've got the full moon ceremony coming up, which you can join. You can comment moon below if you'd like to join. I'll send you the link. But also in this card that I pulled is the full moon. And this is where we talk about the sustainable joy is the ebbs and flows. And it's about where's your connection to source, where's your connection to your soul, trusting your intuition and following your soul, because that is what keeps you in flow. Leap. What is it? You go first, the universe will catch you. And this is about staying connected to the joy, staying connected to your soul, staying connected to the flow. It's different to forcing yourself. Like there's a difference of like discipline and turning up and doing the things that you know are right and good for you, as opposed to I don't feel like it, right? It's a very different point of call here. I'm going to use these cards. Okay. What cards for this day in your current life? What do you mean? Like, I'm not sure what you mean, what cards. So this is a collective reading, but I'm trusting you know that. So Jessica says, I used to feel joy always. Now I struggle to find joy in my reality. Jenny says, my grandchildren brought me great joy. Yeah, so there's also a thing of like choosing joy. And this is where I was like, it's a choice. In a sense that, as we get older, we have a choice to turn bitter, or we have a choice to stay joyful, yeah? And again, that's the choice, yeah? It comes into, like, we can be conscious that we are becoming old and bitter, or we can choose to stay young and youthful and joyous, yeah? Young and joyful, I should say. All right, so this is so interesting because the Lovers card, like I said, fell out first. Now, when we look at what else has come in is break the chain. So you're breaking generational karmic ties. And then you've got the whales again. Yeah, the whales have come up a lot on these readings. The whales and the dolphins to heal the karmic lineages. So interesting, right? To break patterns, to change the frequency, to rewrite the song of your soul. So interesting, we're talking about song and singing and joy. It's really interesting, yeah? And it's interesting. So I don't necessarily feel like it's about relationship, like it isn't. It's like you're breaking what we've been taught as society that is supposed to bring us joy. And instead of looking for joy in relationships, we're finding joy in our own relationship with self and making that priority, which is the connection, which is staying connected to flow, which is staying connected to source, which is staying connected to your soul, which comes back to take the leap. This is the ebbs and flows and the cycles, the moon there. And then 8 of Michael, which I was talking about before as well, is you can be free. Like, this is the choice. So make a courageous choice to change your situation, not seeing things clearly. And this is where it's like we can choose to grow old and bitter or stay young and joyful. Yeah, it's a choice. And interesting as well, double mission. So light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. And again, this is coming back to that, and that whole being you. If you're doing things for other people, so relationships, karmic lineage stuff, and you're not working on releasing those chains, if you may, that's where you're going to get old and lose the joy. Lose the joy. Why? Because you've lost the connection to self. The connection to self is found deep in the sacral chakra. And where we find that, where we deeply anchor that into our belly, that's the only thing that nourishes us. It's our lifeline. That's why our umbilical cord, when we're a baby, connects to our mum via our belly button. It's our sacral. And it's where all the generational stuff is. Yeah. So if you're not feeling joyful and you haven't done work to release karmic generational lineage stuff, definitely something to work on. And it's the ebbs and flows and the cycles, and then choosing the joy amongst that. Yeah. Interesting that the double mission that card has come up, and I've just been saying, like, you have a choice. Okay. You have a choice whether you're going to grow old and bitter or stay young and joyful. Yeah. And this is the double mission in a sense of like staying joyful. It says serve the world by being you. The only way you stay connected to you is if you release this stuff. And if you've lost if you've lost yourself, and especially if you're over 42, and even leading up to 42, but you really be unpicking your childhood upbringing, your karmic lineage stuff that's been imprinted on you. So interesting in the future cards, like how to stay connected to joy, bringing more joy in, is definitely about doing you, being you, and you go first, the universe will catch you. And I always talk about this. You can be free. Make a courageous choice to change your situation, right? And this is what we were talking about. Interesting with the Queen of Raphael. Follow your heart. A love of home and family. Trustworthy psychic information. Again, this is your choice to stay young and joyful. Yeah, stay young and joyful forever. It's a choice. But if we're not feeling that, got some inner work to clean out. So it's interesting because it's all about following your intuition. It's all about staying connected to your heart. It's all about choosing you and choosing your heart and choosing this joyfulness, yeah? Follow your heart, this one. Intuitive hits, it's all coming together. Again, another intuition connection one. Same with this one. The cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. What did I say at the start? I was like, you must stay connected to the flow. You must stay connected to source. Where are you forcing yourself to, for an example, do the housework and you don't really want to do it today, but you're like, but it needs to be done. So you're like forcing yourself and you just make yourself more angry and putting that angry energy in your house, by the way. Whereas if you just actually trusted the flow, yeah, a moving prayer, you go first. Make a courageous choice to be free. Stay connected to you, right? So when you can stay connected to that and trust the ebbs, the flows, and the cycles, that is where you deeply come into staying connected and a moving prayer. That is what brings you joy. Why? Because it's the connection, it's the food source, it's your belly button connection, umbilical cord that's not there anymore, but there's an energetic one. Yeah, and there's an energetic one that plugs into source. That's your soul. That's what feeds you. It's what fuels you. And if you stay connected to that, that's where this moving prayer is. You're connected to the flow. This is where the joy is. And joy, like I said at the start, it's not like getting high and it's like, oh, and then it's like a low. It's like we talk about joy as sustainable joy. And that sustainable joy is staying connected to your source, staying connected to yourself, staying connected to your intuition, and trusting that flow wholeheartedly. Yeah? And interesting because the final outcome, like the overlying card, is the Star. A dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. Soul family, you don't have to do it alone. And then Earth school. Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Yeah, you're always deeply connected to source, and your soul is learning important lessons, but we can learn through joy. We do not have to learn through pain all the time. One of my clients just said to me recently, like, she had this big shift, but it wasn't like big and dramatic and all this drama and shit going on. And she's like, Hannah, can we just like, you know, have like subtle but massive shifts? And it's like quiet, it's not like big dramatic. And I was like, yes, this is growth. And this is like healing and expanding through joy rather than pain. You know, it's I guess it's a liken to the conscious breakups, right? We hear about, you know, nasty divorces and, you know, all this bad stuff, where as society is growing up, we're learning that we can have conscious breakups and conscious communication rather than be all bad. Like, we're learning how to stay connected to our true self, to our source, making it a moving prayer, staying connected to what's true for us and an integrity for us, double mission, right? Staying connected to our heart and being able to serve our life and our life purpose at the same time, doing what's right for us. Like, we can learn through joy, we can heal through joy. And again, it's this sustainable joy. It's like, and if there was another word for sustainable joy, for joy, it's so many words just dropped in then. Like fuel source, food, like it's just soul food, right? But it's your purpose. It's knowing that you're on track, no matter how bad things are, no matter what's going on. And as you know, with my client's example, it's like all this stuff can be changing around you, and you can be going through the biggest shifts of your life, but you are still connected, calm, solid. And it's this undertone that you know you're on the right path, even though things are falling apart, even though you're in the worst position you've ever been in your entire life, even though these massive life changes are happening. It's this deep-seated joy, yeah? That you're on the right path, that you know you're doing the right thing, that you know you're where you're meant to be, yeah? When we talk about happiness, happiness is like, you know, almost the quick fix joys, but it's happiness is, I want to say, one of the fuel sources that lead to the sustainable joy. And so when we do the happiness eye stream, we're going to talk about how we pull ourselves out of depression with happiness, yeah, which can seem like such a far-fetched idea when we're depressed, right? So a dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation, that's what I was just talking about, right? I was just talking how we can like heal through joy and sustainable joy, and we can be calm and centered and grounded without a big drama chaos. And it's like the end of a difficult situation, like believe in yourself, dreams come true. It's like, okay. And this is the thing, like higher learning, like being able to learn through joy instead of pain. And this is where the world's shifting to, right? And you don't have to do it alone. Usually when we come into joy and we come into learning through joy, or we're staying connected to joy, we're choosing to be supported. We're choosing to open up to help. What's this? Oh, it just says higher learning. This one, it's coming together. Intuitive hit soul tribe, like a soul tribe. There's lots of soul tribe. You don't have to do it alone. When we come into joy, we open our heart again. We learn that it's safe to be able to be supported. We allow ourselves to be supported. Very big difference there, yeah? And we choose that. Again, it's a choice, yeah? We choose to open the gates of our heart. See the gates on there? We choose to open the gates of our heart to deeply trust and deeply come into a place where we can solidify that joy. Like we choose that path. We choose that joy. Because we're done with the past. We're done with the bad shit. We don't want to do it anymore. We've had enough. We've reached our limit. Yeah? And so we're taking a leap of faith. And we know that our dreams will come true if we just stay connected to ourselves and be us. Yeah, you serve the world by being you. Yeah. You're so very welcome, Jamie. You're so welcome. Used to believe that we could only meditate while sitting in one place, but we can meditate while we're doing other things as well. Yeah, it's a connection. Another word for meditation is connection. Yeah, and it's the connection to self. It's the connection. It's presence. Like, whilst meditation deeply supports those muscles, and as I always say, like, a lot of people come to me and they're like, I don't know how to meditate. It doesn't work for me. And usually, right, is because the brain's going and they don't have that body-mind connection. And that's a skill, it's a practice, it's a muscle, just like learning to drive. There's muscles and stuff we've got to like learn to do, right? And so is meditation. It might not seem like it, but it is. And it's a practice. I always, I never used to be able to meditate either, but yoga taught me how to meditate. So when I first was spiritually awakened in 2005, I was like working and living in Brisbane, and I was there for 18 months, and I went to these yoga classes religiously, like after work. Like, nothing would stop me going. I was in the city at the time, so it was all convenient, not like out here, but anyway. And like, nothing would stop me going to those classes, and they were strong Ashtanga, like, yoga classes, and I loved them. And honestly, if I didn't have that experience with the strong body, mind, breathing connection, I wouldn't be able to meditate like I do today. It taught me how to meditate. It taught me the observer of the thoughts. It taught me, like, and so if you do struggle to do, to meditate, I would recommend doing some sort of cardio or strong exercise, yoga or something, swimming, surfing, like something very physical, and cardio before you sit down and meditate always, because you'll just find that your brain, you'll drop into it a lot easier, and it's practice. Yeah. And then, like, when we have a solid practice, and this is what I was saying before, like, there is a specific time and a place for a disciplined practice for a certain amount of time. Like, if you want to learn a new skill, you want to discipline your ass down and learn that skill. Like, you want to make time for it. Like, oh, I can't meditate, I just tried it once, it doesn't work. It's like, okay, how serious do you want to, like, increase your clairvoyance and, like, your intuition? Like, how serious are you? Are you just, like, wanting to muck around at the, at the kindergarten and, like, have fun and paint and stuff? Or you want to go to university? Like, you need to discipline your ass down and make a dedicated practice if you want to improve your skills for anything, by the way. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Tony says, yes, I've had so many Tuesday tarots telling me to live in the moment and live for the now, and to love and trust my intuition. I hope you're listening, Tony. I love it. Yes. Love it. Going through this now, learning to be joyful for myself and also working on the lineage. Yes, I love it. I love this so much. Perfect. All right, so our psychic reading for joy, so is the connection to self and finding those things that bring you joy and trusting the flow and trusting intuition. And the other thing, that really important point as well about joy, is working on your purpose. Yeah, if I'm not spending time and energy talking about a disciplined practice, if I'm not working on a disciplined practice to bring my purpose to earth, I feel empty, depleted, depressed. Actually, disciplining myself to turn up and put my life purpose into action is the deep fulfillment. Yeah, because my soul is nourished doing what it's born to do. Yeah. Repetition. It's the way we learn. Yes. Practice. Exactly. Yes. And we get good at anything by what? Oh, practicing, doing it a zillion times. That's right. That's right. Okay, so my Trust Intuition Training School, I'll be closing the doors to that soon. There's weekly classes on there of psychic development. There's Haven Healings on there. I was just talking to my client as well about it, and she's like fully healed this thing. It's so amazing. Won't share details because client stuff, but I was just like, oh my God, like, and that's from several weeks ago, but she's done the work, and she's like, oh my God, Hannah, it shifted. And I was just like, I know, but I'm still like, it's so amazing at the same time. So really excited about that. So anyway, there's lots of different classes in the Trust Intuition Training School. There's a different class each week. We've got a full moon ceremony also on Monday. So, Sunday, Monday, depending on where you are in the world. So you can see that on my page, or just comment moon below if you'd like the information to join us for the full moon ceremony. And I shall see you soon for another Psychic Reading 4 series. Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend or week if you're watching the replay, depending on where you are in the world. And I shall see you soon. Bye. With lots of joy, of course.